Oh,
You don't want to be with me because you need someone to be with. So, it must be Tuesday. My bad.
must be
I'm on.
Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Rest in peace, Kango Kid, UTFO, educated rapper, UTFO. What up, Doc Ice? All right. Down in Sports Talk, we are in the building, live and direct. You already know what it is, and if you don't, get familiar. 6 zeros is in the house, as you can see it up in the corner right there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
buddy.
I got my Cody in the building with me, always holding me down. The MVP of the league. All right, make sure you check out Yada Bear over there, 6 zeros. Make sure you check out Yada Bear on Twitter, Star
I'm
Report.
everywhere.
Nah, I mean, she gonna be on BET next. We in the building, man. Down in Sports Talk, we got a live one tonight, man, because we gonna do say some things and do some things. And if your ears are sensitive, turn the volume down. Get it on the
Yeah,
replay or something. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because we're gonna talk about some things tonight. Josh Giddey is gonna get roasted over the coals. Malika Andrews is gonna get dealt with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on a positive note, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and that great win that they had over the Buffalo Bills. They kind of like solidify their situation as one of the top teams in the league, regardless of how it goes down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get into that. Um, and a bunch of other stuff. It's down in Sports Talk. I am left-handed at RM Des on Twitter. You already know the vibes. You know what I mean? Um, and you already know who that is. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Yada Bear. What's good?
Hey man, it's been an interesting week, My Eagles, we're going through a quote unquote gauntlet, that we are so far being successful and running through the gauntlet, 2-0 in that span right now.
Right,
Also, my Sixers just put the whooping on the Lakers, 44-point
right,
loss to the
right,
Lakers,
right. Biggest loss of LeBron James' career.
biggest loss. And Joel had a 30-point triple double in 3 quarters. Which is wow. He didn't even play the fourth quarter. He got a triple double. So everything is good over here in Philly. We standing up tall. We had a ugly game that turned out beautiful at the end. Overtime win against the Buffalo Bills. Bills came to play. The weather was trashy. Everything about that game was in Buffalo's favor, and again, we found a way to win. We came out victorious, but I don't want to get into that much right now because we got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
The
absolutely,
streets is
absolutely. I feel you on
extremely
that.
hot um about what's going on in OKC with this
Mm.
Australian by the name of Josh Giddey, who has an issue with messing around with underage girls. Um, it's been put out there on social media. You can't once it's out there on the internet, you can't take it away. You know,
Mm.
she posts several pictures, videos with him in it. He can't deny it. He can't say he don't know that girl that she's lying because he's all up and down. Her Instagram, and now both of them are up and down my Instagram and my Twitter because I can't turn away from it. It's right there in the face. But where it's not at is all on these major media platforms. You turn on First Take, nobody's talking about it. Turn on Get Up
Right,
in the Morning,
right,
nobody's talking about it. You turn
right.
the Fox Sports, Undisputed, nobody's talking about it. Undisputed, nobody's talking about it on any other shows that's on Fox Sports One. Nobody's
But
talking about it.
we gonna talk about it tonight.
Yeah, oh, we
Absolutely.
definitely talking about it here, and it's wild. The NBA. I'm starting to kind of like have like this love hate relationship with the NBA because they have what we call selective outrage,
Mm.
for certain things that kind of is a big deal, but they make it more to a big deal versus something like this that's extremely foul and wrong. People go to jail for these things that's happening with Josh Giddey, and the team hasn't spoke out about it. The NBA hasn't spoke out about it. Only thing they said was, "Oh, we're investigating it." But while they investigating it, he's still able to make money. He's starting and playing in games. Where's the suspension during the investigation? Because when I, look back, and we have a guy named of John Morant, aka John Wick, when he was going through his trial and tribulations of his, firearm, his gunplay, the team suspended him. And then shortly after, the league suspended him during the investigation.
That's
And then
right.
after the conclusion, then we got another suspension on top of it. Um, Kyrie Irving, he posted a link to a video that wasn't too pleasing to a certain group of people. But you turn around, he gets suspended during the investigation. Um, we can look at we can go down to Malik Beasley. He has his issue with his baby mom and them going back and forth, and she dropped the charges, and then he gets suspended for about 30 games. Um, Draymond Green, he's getting suspended all the time for fighting. Like, he is the
Right.
quote
Right.
unquote villain of the NBA. But when we turn around, we have the true villain of the people, not even just the NBA, of the people. It's Josh Giddey. Like, where's the, it's the double standard, it's the hypocrisy of the league, and we all know why it's not getting blown up like everything
Right.
else. I
And
don't have
and,
to say it.
and we
You
go
don't have to say
and
it.
we can say it. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like,
I mean, we can
and again,
definitely say it.
we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk to it and figure out why, those other incidents with these other NBA stars who are in Josh Giddey's peer group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their stories get blown. I'm not going to say out of proportion, but I'm going to say out of proportion in this instance, because look at the proportion that people are talking about Josh Giddey as opposed to John Morant, as
Yeah.
opposed to Brandon Miller. And Brandon Miller wasn't even in the NBA at the time.
Wasn't in the NBA
So
at all.
Josh Giddey, who's 21 years old, so that puts him in the grown man column, right? Perspective,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
He was the
He's
number 6
grown up.
overall selection out of Australia in the 2021 NBA draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was an NBA Global Academy graduate, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first one to be selected in the NBA draft. And again, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Not a goddamn thing. But at the end of the day, we want to know over here down in Sports Talk, why isn't these major sports platforms, networks, putting more emphasis on this story, letting people know, because it's a major story, but it's just not getting major burn. And
Mm-hmm.
we want to talk about it over here, and particularly a person over at ESPN who's always in the mix when it comes to, cats of a certain persuasion like mines and yadas, right? Getting into situations. All
Yep.
right. This particular female, right?
Uh-huh.
She wants to put, she puts the story before the reason why she's there, right? She's there
Mm-hmm.
because the NBA. It's supposed to be about basketball, but no, she wants to make it about everything else. And yes, we're gonna name names, because that's how we get down over here. Malika Andrews,
Yes.
conspicuously absent from mentioning anything about Josh Giddey. And all we
Won't
want to
mention
know is
it
what,
at all.
you know what I mean? You for, you're for what happens as victims, and want to take the stand and want to be up there and fight for the victims and speak to it because you can and you have the platform. That's the explanation you give.
Mm-hmm.
That's the explanation you give, Malika Andrews. That's the explanation you give when you're talking about Kendrick Perkins is talking about rebounding, and the next thing you know, you're talking about somebody's situation that they had off the court, which has nothing to do with nothing. But because it's NBA and your justification for it, that's why you talk about it. So why aren't you talking about Josh Giddey? You don't have enough information. You don't know, like, what?
Yeah, she's been extremely quiet about this, and it's crazy because as we spoke about earlier, she dragged Brandon Miller's name through the
Yes,
mud.
on
She
draft night,
went on a,
when he
a,
see
a,
in front of
a,
his
a
mom.
dragging his
Yeah.
name tour It seemed like she couldn't stop talking about the guy
Absolutely.
even
Let's
before
go.
he got into the league. It was
Yeah.
she was bringing up so many different scenarios. She like it was just crazy how she was dragging his name.
The
The same
protesting at
with
the game and all this. Yeah,
oh my
let's
god,
go.
the
Let's talk about
protester.
it.
It was crazy. And guess what? I understand because at that time I was like, what he did was mad foul. But the point is, if you're going to give that same energy to him,
Right.
you got to give
That's the
that
point.
same energy and
That's the entire
even
point.
more to Josh Giddey. Because
Right.
people who's not in the league, just regular people, if they were accused of something like this, you're going to jail for something like
They'll be
this.
under. They'll
This
be
is
under the jail,
extremely,
and something will
extremely
be
serious.
happening to them while they was in the jail.
Yeah, like so for her to not have that same energy is it's very alarming. She shows
Hypocritical,
extreme
two
bias.
faced.
Yep, extreme bias towards a certain group of folks that look
Mm-hmm.
just like her. That look just like her. And I don't care what Josh Giddey, where he's from, because 15,
Right.
16 is the same in
Right.
Australia and it is the same over here in the States. They're still a child. Okay. I understand certain states, age of consent here and there, but guess what? 15, 16, they still a child. You're an adult. You knew you was doing. You can't deny it. You can't say that, oh, I didn't know how old she was. You're friends with her brother. You all up and down her Instagram. You posing pictures and videos with this little girl. Like it's cool. And then also I'm looking at OKC as an organization. So you guys are cool with one of your players being accused and with inappropriate actions with a
And
minor
y'all the Bible Belt. How that work?
at the Bible Belt.
How does that work?
How laughable is that? So the
Right.
organization is telling me that you're cool with that. Not only the organization, but Shay, you cool with that? That you got a teammate that has a thing for young girls? You cool with that? You cool with having him around if you got a little sister, a niece, a cousin that's around that age? So
Auntie.
so Josh is invited to the
Cousin.
barbecue with
Right.
with your family? Josh Josh is one of those is the guy that we say, oh, you can't leave the kids around Josh, but you want to leave the kids around. You cool to share the court with a person like that? That's crazy to me, and it's crazy that the team still had to say anything. It was mind blowing seeing him out there Saturday playing. I just knew that he wasn't gonna play Saturday. Like once the story really started
Right. Once
picking up
once it
my
came out, he
mind,
was like, okay, we're gonna, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
I
But
was like,
then
oh, all right, he probably
oh,
yeah, I was like, all right, so Saturday, I like Josh probably not going to play. He might be on the bench or he might not be with the team. They might say, oh, he stepped away from the team for like personal reasons. And when I turned on that game and I saw that starting lineup and I saw him out there for the jump ball, I said, oh, you crazy? I said, what? I said, are you kidding me? And this goes back to the beef I have with Adam Silver all these years. He's soft. If this was David Stern, you think this will go down David Stern NBA?
I think Adam Silver is, in the mind frame of one of our ubiquitous friends, right? He's a capitalist, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he wants to bring the most eyeballs with the less amount of friction that can bring the most money to his league. But when you have situations that go on, whether they be criminal, whether they be immoral, whether they be whatever, you got to answer to it. It's all falls down on you, my guy, Adam Silver. You're the spokesman of the league. Why do you have this guy, you know what I mean, playing after, he's like accused of this, right? There's a lot of proof, be it circumstantial or whatever. But the main thing in the bottom line is the age difference. You got
Yeah.
this Jerry Lee Lewis cat out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I mean? You got this Jerry Lee Lewis dude out here. You know what I mean? And in the Bible Belt of all places. Now, if this was New York, or this was Boston, or Philly, or LA, or whatever the case, this is the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
And could you imagine if it was one of us?
Oh my God!
No disrespect, I'm not even gonna say nobody's names. I don't want to put them in that box. But could you imagine if it was somebody that wasn't Josh Giddey's persuasion that was doing that in the same situation, in the same scenario? They would get crucified.
Oh my God! His face would be all up and down ESPN. It'd be breaking news. They would
Everybody in the league would have
broadcasting.
That's right. Everybody in the league will have something to say. All the players will have something to say. Oh, this is how we move. You ain't heard a peep out of nobody.
Nobody's not saying anything. Super tight-lipped, and it's ridiculous. It just shows the hypocrisy of this league. It shows it right here, plain as day. It's crazy. Like, and it's still going.
We might have our OKC correspondent in the building if he can get his thing together.
Like it's just nuts. I just can't. I can't deal with it. This NBA, like I said, I got a love-hate relationship with this league because Adam Silver is crazy that nothing's happened. And where is the code of conduct? Like, don't they have like some type of code of conduct that they have to adhere by? And I feel like this would definitely fall within that, violating that code of conduct right there. Like, it's crazy. Like,
I mean, like at the end of the day, it is crazy. And I want to add on, don't let me forget, Browski, there's another story that's similar to this that's going on in Chicago with the Blackhawks. Right? When they just released Corey Perry.
Well, look at that. Someone got released.
And they said that he was, and the team even said that he was doing some unscrupulous stuff. But the situation that we don't do the rumor thing around here. But the situation, it sounds very, very credible, right? Wow. And I don't know, we got to talk about that behind the scenes.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Because it's a story similar. It's a story similar to what's going on. We got Win Walker in the house, live and direct from OKC. Josh Giddey, man, what's going on out there, man? I see you in the mansion tonight.
There's a second allegation going on against Josh Giddey. The first allegation was when he was 18 and the girl was 16 or some things, and they brought this up from way back. But this new allegation is more recent with him, so they haven't went all into it, but it's supposed to be credible.
I mean, why not? I mean, again, at the end of the day, we was up here talking about how they, rushed to judgment with Ja, they rushed to judgment with Brandon Miller, they rushed to judgment with a whole bunch of cats that look like us. But when it comes to this situation, they haven't got to the bottom of it yet. What is to get to the bottom of it? He was grown, she wasn't. What's the problem?
Yeah. Now it's a second. It's a second one out there. So
what's going on? And when it's something that you can speak to, big bro. You in the Bible Belt. What the hell is going on? No pun intended. But what the hell is going on in the Bible Belt?
Hey, they got
No. The energy gotta be
but you know what? That's not the first person. Let me take you back. Let me take you back. There was allegations against one of my favorite players when he was here. He had got caught up in a quote unquote rape entourage repertoire, whatever you want to call it. Mr. Roethlisberger with an OU student.
Hey.
They always, when it's somebody of that color,
Who
and
got
I'm
the
not
protection for
being
the
racist,
complexion for the protection.
That's
they
what it
get
is.
protected and it gets washed away.
Mm-hmm. But that's foul because
Uh,
we still participate in what goes on and this stuff that's happening to all these people out here, and everybody acts like it's not happening. But when a certain demographic it happens to them, it's all over the place. Everybody want to protest.
right,
They want to
right.
suspend you.
Just like
They
when
want to
the
fine
OU
you.
football
They want to
player
charge you.
slapped
You know what I'm saying?
slapped the chick for calling him the N-word and
Yeah,
spitting on him.
yeah,
They charged him.
yeah.
The
Sure makes sense.
OSU football player with the drunk, supposed to be drunk driving, but they was following him around when the truth came out. They've been following him out. They followed him from one area to another area, and like you said, it's the complexion.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
It's the
I mean,
complexion.
we don't want to dwell on it because we got a limited amount of time. But man, listen, man, this is we could go overtime if you want. Some with the SHITSs, but
Mm-hmm.
again, at the end of the day, we want to talk about this. You know what I mean? We want to shine
I
light
just
to it because again, it's not being discussed.
no. I just want
Yes,
all of them to have the same type of energy that they have for Ja, that they have for Brandon, Kyrie, Malik, Draymond. Just have that same
But
type of energy that
that
you have
goes
with
back.
those guys
That goes
with
back
this
to the
guy.
CEO. That goes back to the head.
Yeah,
That goes back to the man,
that's what I'm
Mister.
saying. I
Now,
need
if this
them.
would have been David Stern, it would have been Stern.
Exactly. I said it.
But this
Adam
is
Silver is the problem. He's
Silver.
soft.
He's a liver.
Yeah.
Silver liver.
Listen. He's telling you what it is. It is named Silver. He's
Yeah.
about, like I said, he's about getting the bread. He wants to spread this game with the least amount of nonsense as possible. If he squirted, no disrespect, he kind of like, finagled and wiggled his way out of the John Morant thing. You know what I mean? And said, okay, we're gonna throw 25 more games on top of it at the beginning of the season so everybody can appease some people. Now here comes this nonsense.
Yeah.
But my point being, and our whole point being, is why isn't it being talked about? How come people are screaming at the top of their lungs about get Josh Giddey out the league? Josh Giddey's a cancer to the NBA. Josh Giddey's bad for the league. Josh Giddey needs to go. Josh Giddey's this. Josh Giddey's that. Why are they not saying that? We're the only ones that saying that.
I mean, I mean, if we want to really think about it and really go down the line, I mean, this is not the first time something like this happened in the league.
Yeah, and then what the
last? Karl Malone did do it underneath David Stern watch and didn't get in trouble for it at all. But we live in a social media era where everything is now online, and once it's online, it's out there forever. So Karl Malone, he got to be thankful that didn't happen. Social media wasn't around during his era.
Right.
But
because he's being vilified. He's being vilified now, and these youngsters really don't know or understand why. They watch the videos and see how he gave Isaiah those 25 stitches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And how you know what I mean? But it's way deep that his relationship with his kids or whatever the case may be. So it's way deep. But we're gonna keep it pushing, but definitely want to get back into that. We want to know what your thoughts are as well. Let us know in the group down in Sports Talk. Let us know on Twitter what you think. And
Malika Andrews, we're looking at you.
Yeah, Malika Andrews. I was going to ask Wynn, what's your thoughts on Malika Andrews being, silent on this situation?
I guess everybody's trying to look at him as are you going to be a rat, or are you going to be a team player, or are you going to be an advocate, or what's your role going to be? How are you going to stand up during this situation? The press, they see things a different way. They look at how can I put this? Help me out, Yada. The press, they don't scrutinize
they ain't gonna scrutinize one of their own. You know,
One of their own.
yeah, because
Yeah.
again, he got.
Oh, Stephen A. Smith is not one of his own.
No, but
I'm
he's.
saying, I get what you're saying, Win. I get what you're saying. I get it. But
I'm trying to put it in.
If this was somebody else, Stephen A. Smith would be screaming on it.
No, that's and that's true. That's true, but he can't scream on it on ESPN. I'm surprised he had to scream on it on his podcast.
Right.
That's very surprising. And when you look at it, you know, he works closely with the NBA. So
Right.
I guess he can't,
See,
you know, mess up his bag.
Once you quote unquote start making noise,
Then you become the problem.
Yeah, you kind of lose your credentials. You kind of lose your leverage.
Because you're telling the truth, and you speaking truth to power, then you know, man. Excuse, pardon my French, but like, well, fuck them credentials. Word. Like,
I'm just keeping it real.
I mean, at the end of the day,
you know,
if somebody puts hands on like that on my little sister or my little niece or my little cousin,
I'm going after.
I would still be stomping their ass out.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah,
right now, I would still be stomping their ass out.
They looking at
I don't care about credential. I don't care about that. You did.
Well, they looking at they status quo, bro.
Listen to me, bro. I feel you. But it's not like you was waving the gun in the club after your team lost on the road. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you was just, running up and down the street saying all types of foulness. You was doing some, like, it makes me kind of tight.
Doing some foul stuff with someone who shouldn't be into that.
Right.
And
so now, even after you do that, right, and there's circumstantial evidence, there's more evidence, is whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Your corporation or team or whatever that you play for is still allowing you to go out there like nothing's happening.
Yep. So in my eyes, I'm looking at them like, so y'all approve of that? Y'all okay with it?
They condoning this shit.
It's all right. Y'all
they looking at their cash cow. They looking at like I was saying a while ago when I was finna say, they looking at the dollar sign.
Absolutely.
Even with the media. The media is looking at the dollar sign. They don't want to cause friction to affect their money. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to stir the pot.
Listen, you got Chet Holmgren, you got Shea, right? I'm quite sure they could do without Josh Giddey for 40 to 50 games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
they could.
For me, and the main point, Win Walker, we're in the house down in Sports Talk, man, 6-0. Make sure you get down with your community. What up, Jay? To me, the point of the matter is, one, nobody's saying nothing about it. Two,
right,
he's still out there playing. Because if
they
were saying something about it, he wouldn't be out there playing. That's why that's point number two. Because point number one is if they were saying something about it, he would not be out there. Right? So again, at the end of the day, it's where it's all happening at.
And you know what?
They're supposed to be adamant against this. Huh?
Sam Presti, he should be adamant about messing up his draft stock.
That's the GM, right? Sam Presti, right? That's the GM, right?
Yeah. He should be adamant about messing up his draft stock of people, because they got like 12 to 13 more first round draft picks next year. That they didn't trade for.
Right. They got wild draft picks.
And some of them young guns, hey, some of them young guns gonna say, "Nah, I don't want to go there.
I don't want to go there. I don't want to play with him.
I don't want to play with them. I don't want.
Yeah.
You're gonna get me mixed up in that.
Yeah.
And some of them parents are saying, "No, you're not going there."
You're gonna get me mixed up in that.
Yeah. Some of the parents, some of their agents, some of the parents.
Yeah.
No, you're not going down there to the Thunder. You're not. You got to think about another thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm just keeping it 100.
All right, that's what it is. But we're gonna get off of that, man. But we ain't finished with it. You know what I mean? But like YADABEAR said, Malika Andrews, we keeping our eye on you. All right, a whole bunch of you sports. Pat McAfee. And you'll be the one that really be going in. You know what I'm saying? Ain't heard nothing from none of you cats.
Nobody.
Scott Van Pelt.
Nobody. None of
Now,
the money.
Scott Van Pelt,
none of you dudes saying nothing.
He's kind of wishy-washy, Scott Van Pelt.
Nah, I mean,
he rides the fence.
It's a sports issue. And again, we talked about John Morant ad nauseum. Don't play me. So again, at the end of the day, Windwalker, I'm just saying, where's all the energy at? But we're gonna get off of that and move on to something bigger and brighter things.
I'll tell you who will say so.
Yada Bears in the building. The Week 12 NFL chop up. We're gonna run through that. We're gonna let Yada Bear lead it off. You know what I mean? Because again, it was a very, very big win against the Buffalo Bills at home on a Gotham City type night. All right, talk about it, Browski.
Yeah, well, as I stated earlier in the opening, we are in the quote unquote gauntlet. Everyone, these next 5 games is the gauntlet. Saw the Chiefs beat them. Buffalo came to town. Terrible rain. It was a terrible game. We lost our right tackle a couple hours before kickoff. And we still found a way to win. We started off slow, terrible first half. We couldn't get anything going, By the time halftime came, we had a total 33 yards total. We couldn't get anything going for real. The way the first half was looking, it was like, man, Buffalo just came in here and it's going to just ease its way to a victory. They was beating us on both sides of the ball. They dominated the line on both sides. And then the second half came, And one thing I would say about my team that's different from last year is the adjustments that we make instantly. So when we came on the second half, it was a whole nother team. Went back to running the ball, went back to our style to play, went back to dominating that offensive line, was able to get Von Miller and all them out of here. They couldn't really touch Jalen like that in the second half, like they was touching in the first half. First half, they was all over Jalen. Jalen couldn't even breathe. He couldn't even look down the field. He had no time to throw anything. But in the second half, Coach Sirianni buckled down. Sean Desai on the defensive side. We kept these guys in check the best as we could. Stephon Diggs out there running around. Our secondary is still a little suspect, but we was able to keep him in check. He didn't run away with the game. He tried to, but he didn't. And Josh Allen do what Josh Allen does. Throw picks.
All apart.
The worst time of the game. And I seen it coming. I was like, he's going to throw us a pick. And he threw it, and boom, Bradbury, pick. Here we go. Change the whole momentum of the game. And a lot of people's talking about, the refs this, the refs this. Well, how about this? How about Bass missing the 40-yard field goal? How about that? If you make the field goal, then we got a different story. And then we come out, Jake Elliott come out here, hit a 60-yard. Let's talk about that. How is this about that 60-yard field goal that he hit in the same weather with the wind coming at him in the most terrible rain? 60 yards. He could have made it for 63 yards. It would have still been good. And then we come out in overtime, hold them, to a field goal, and Jalen just walks right into the end zone. Buffalo was 0-6 in overtime games. And what they think, they're going to come in here and beat us in overtime? Right. Everybody out here praising, Buffalo this, Buffalo that. It's so crazy how you praise the loser. They did the same thing.
I'm getting ready to praise a loser. They let me down. Hope everybody had happy Thanksgiving and stuff like that. We're not gonna forget the plate reviews coming at the end of the show, y'all. The plate reviews coming.
Listen, one thing I know is we're 10-1.
The Detroit Lions.
Oh well,
man.
Go ahead. Finish your thought, Browski.
when you said about the Detroit Lions, you know what's so crazy? I forgot that Thursday was Thanksgiving because we all know Detroit don't win on Thanksgiving.
Every year, I always say at the beginning of the season, either the Lions are going to get spanked on Thanksgiving, but the last couple of years, I said this might be, the biggest game of the year. Thanksgiving, you finally have a big game in Detroit. This was that moment, and they split the bit. They split the bit, and again, I feel like in certain teams, it's an up and down league. We get it. It's a roller coaster. 1 week you're up, next week you're down. But if you want to be a consistent winning team, the games that you have to win, or the games that you should win, let me say, you should win. You should win, regardless if you have to kick a field goal with no time left. Regardless if whatever happens, you need to win those games. How can we trust you as an upcoming powerhouse when you can't, win a game that you're supposed to win at home, big holiday, the whole world is watching you, and and this is how you make it happen when you don't make it happen.
3 picks.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, we put Jared Goff in that bucket over there that's not really ready for this primetime role. And I wanted to talk about how some injuries happened in Week 12. Baker Mayfield, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback for the time being, Chris Olave in New Orleans, Cam Robinson in Jacksonville, some injuries and things of that nature. Where now we're getting ready to get into the meat and potatoes part of the season. The weather's about to get ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And teams have to rely on their running games a whole lot more. Where do you see, as far as the AFC is concerned? Because the NFC is really Philadelphia and everybody else.
Well, right? the AFC is now becoming the true gauntlet because we seen teams that had started out terrible. Look at Denver; they won 5 straight. They are now in the running. Look at a team like Cincinnati. They lost their quarterback. What's going to happen, with the Bengals? Look at Houston. Houston just barely lost that game against Jacksonville.
Right. Look at Jacksonville. Right.
Jacksonville slipped away. They got. I say they got lucky. They truly got lucky. Look at the Steelers. I know when you was waiting for me to say
he couldn't wait for somebody to say the Steelers.
The Steelers they finally got over like 400 offensive yards or 500 offensive yards finally since forever. Now that Matt Canada is out there, but I still have to say, but they still look a little suspect. Just a little bit. Everybody in the AFC is beatable. There's no front runners. Everybody want to look at Baltimore, as a front, but no one's a front runner in the AFC. Everyone is beatable from Baltimore to Kansas City. Kansas City is not the same team as it was last year. They had a lot of questions. Everybody's still dropping the ball. And you see what happened with the Chiefs. They go play a bad team, and now everybody looking good. Everybody erased what happened against the Eagles, where everybody dropping passes. Nobody want to talk about that. But you play the Raiders, who's a bad team, and everybody's like, oh, well, Kansas City's back in it. I don't think so. Like I said, everyone is beatable in the AFC. It's going to be really interesting with these with the divisional races, especially in the North. The North is on fire. Like everybody is basically like separated by like a game or a game and a half, around there. The South is a 2-man race with Houston and Jacksonville, and then you look at the East. Buffalo is flatlining. It's Miami's division to win. They can take that division away. And then when you look at the AFC West, it's like, all right, yeah, the Chiefs up top, but how good are the Chiefs for real? Because they already lost to Denver already. I believe they got to play them again, and their schedule is not that easy. Also, they got a couple tough games coming down the line. So the the road to the Super Bowl could be running through the AFC North. It could be Baltimore. It might be Pittsburgh. Who knows? It's very hard to. It's really hard to say right now, but should be interesting. And I know Wynn is extremely happy, but I still say this.
I know Wynn is breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
I know Wynn said, "I told you so."
Nah, Kenny's still trash.
I
I told you so.
Come on, yo.
And we will be
Kenny's
there.
Still trash.
Who you think
it doesn't matter.
You think his name is Terry Pickett? Huh?
Terry Pickett.
You think his name is Terry Pickett? Come on, son.
Kenny Roethlisberger.
His name is Terry Roethlisberger. His name is Terry Roethlisberger.
Ken Roethlisberger.
Ken Roethlisberger. But
hey,
it's interesting.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. I woke up with wake up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to them guys talk the whole time on ESPN this morning. They praise them Steelers and say each week they getting better. Each week they doing this. Each week they doing that. Mm-hmm. We climbed the ladder. We learned from our mistakes. Najee came to life. Warren comes to life.
Mm-hmm.
Pickett and Pickens, they a duo. Johnson shows up. Williams shows up. But this is my question to you, YADABEAR. The Eagles have the number one defense in the NFC. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's us. I believe it may.
Y'all got a balanced attack.
I second that. Well, this is our weakness. Our weakness has always been the middle of the field, which is the linebacker.
But here's the point I'm trying to make.
Go ahead.
Who's going to stop in the AFC? Who's going to stop TJ Watt? Tell me.
Well, I have a guy by the name of Lane Johnson who's the best right tackle in the league who hasn't given up a sack in over 2 years.
Well,
I'm just saying.
We will see.
You make that statement like we don't go like we just didn't go up against Micah Parsons. Like we just didn't go up against
he sucks.
Chris Johnson.
Really sucks.
Like we just didn't go up against Chase Young twice, and we about to go up against Chase Young again. Okay. So I'm just saying, like we have played.
No, you finna go up against both
defense.
Who you finna go up against? Don't y'all play San Francisco?
Yeah,
Chase Young is on the 49ers.
Exactly. Chase Young's on the 49ers again.
I'm saying you forgetting everybody else on the team.
And then
you just talking about Chase Young.
You got Bosa, you got Armstead.
You got Bosa.
That's
what I'm saying. You just talking about Chase Young.
But
Come on, let's talk about the rest of them.
I said Chase Young because we already faced him twice, and then we're about to face him again on the 49ers.
But I'm saying, what about Bosa? What about Nick Bosa?
We're going to do the same thing we did last season to Nick Bosa. What did we do to Nick Bosa?
Wasn't he on the field at the NFC Championship game?
Yes, he was because he was hurt.
All right.
His quarterback was hurt. Nick Bosa was in the game, along with Fred Warner. Okay.
Right.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the 49ers defense. We got the same defense that they had last year in the NFC. They just added 2 players. And the one guy they add, you don't even hear about him. And that's Hargrove. You don't hear about Javon Hargrove. They gave him all that money and it'd be silent over there. Okay. Why do you think they brought in Chase Young? Because they need a more help with the pass rush. Because guess who's not getting in the backfield like that anymore? Nick Bosa. The guy that I'm afraid of on that team is a man named Fred Warner, who's one of the best linebackers in the league. Okay. I would love to have a Fred Warner on my squad. But everybody else, they just names now. Nick Bosa just a name.
Okay.
That Bosa name don't ring bells like it used to.
Bosa is a good edge rusher, bro. That's all I got to say.
He is a good edge rusher, but he's not as good as he was before. Because if he was really that good, they wouldn't be bringing in Chase Young. What they bring Chase Young in for? Because Bosa not getting to the cup. That's why. And Bosa always hurt. So we'll see Sunday.
We will see.
Okay? We'll see Sunday.
And please don't never bring up.
But what I'm hoping.
Don't bring up no Cowboys.
You focus on who y'all have next, okay?
You just brought up the Cowboys.
The Cardinals? I said no. She's bringing up Michael Parsons. Hey, don't bring up the Cowboys because they have beat nobody.
Well, yeah,
they haven't beaten nobody.
Trash, but
they know that.
But I can recognize a good player. Now we can't sit here and say Michael Parsons trash.
No,
because I would be a liar if I said that. I said the Cowboys are trash. Michael Parsons is good.
Yeah.
So we talking about pass rusher. He's a great pass rusher. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. And then y'all played him in 2 weeks, right?
So that's
we do. And can we talk about what's wrong with this guy Kareem Jackson of the Broncos? Why can he get tackled?
Wow, right.
Like he need to go to tackle in one-on-one. Like what's the targeting?
Yeah.
The targeting. He just got suspended again. Like he just came off a suspension to get suspended again.
Right.
What is going on with that?
Hey, it's hitting his pockets though.
Oh, it's hitting his pockets hard.
It's hitting his pockets.
And then while we're on the Broncos, I mean, we gotta give a shout out to the Broncos because 5 straight, Sean Payton got them boys playing. The defense is playing pretty well. You got Russell Wilson looking, kind of like Russell Wilson. You got Jerry Jeudy, Sutton, all of them out there. They're playing pretty good. We didn't expect that. In the first 4 games, and also, we got our first head coach firing. Frank Reich got fired from the Carolina Panthers. They said his services are no longer needed in Carolina anymore, and it's crazy because I feel like the writing on the wall for him was when he drafted Bryce Young instead of C.J. Stroud. You see this. You see this. Yeah, and they got him out of
that
there.
That owner in Carolina, David Tepper, is a weirdo.
I don't think he knows football.
I mean, again, at the end of the day, everything comes out in the wash. You had Ron Rivera, Steve Wilkes, you know what I mean? And now you let go of Frank Reich, who was an alleged quarterback whisperer. And with the guy that you drafted that guy.
Yeah.
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So it goes back to you. And if you don't give the guy that you hired, entrusted with your franchise, you don't give him enough time to develop. I mean, you Bryce Young, and Frank Reich a year to, let their situation materialize until you fire them. You know what I mean? So that speaks everything to you and your franchise. That's why y'all, you going down the toilet.
I mean, when you really look at it, you draft this quarterback, 0 receivers. You trade away your best receiver in order, to get this guy, which to me is mind blowing. Like you trade away your best receiver to get a quarterback, but you drafted him. You traded DJ Moore. You got no offensive lineman. You get no offensive lineman. Then you overpay a running back that can't even get on the field right now. He's not even starting anymore. And then you give Frank Reich 1 year, and then you fire him. You didn't even give him the whole season.
Right.
Like what did you expect? But I mean, at the end of the day, Frank Wright, maybe you can it's okay to just be an offensive coordinator. You're a great offensive coordinator. We know that here. We love you here, Frank Wright.
I mean, Frank Wright has done some things, you know what I mean? But damn, I mean, they even gave, Marvin Lewis got what, 15, 16 years in Cincinnati?
Listen,
You know
Marvin
what I mean?
Lewis.
How many years of Todd Bowles got in Tampa Bay? You know what I mean? And he's turning my team into garbage. But again, at the end of the day, it just is what it is. These owners could do what they want with their franchises, and it shows up in the wash every week. That's why you're always firing coaches and you're drafting 1 and 2 every single year. David Benevidez, the Mexican monster.
The monster.
Beat up on Demetrius Andre. I never really got into him. You know what I mean? I never really.
Andres?
Yeah, I never really got into Andre. And I just think that fights like this, when a guy like Andre fights a guy like Benavidez, that's when the proof is in the pudding. The truth comes out. You know what I'm saying? David Benevidez, like Andre started off the fight kind of decent, you know what I mean? Like he was there to do some things. But then it just got spooky for Andre.
Yeah, it was like the 5th round. It started getting spooky.
He was beating him up like Terrence Crawford was beating up Earl Spence.
Yeah,
I got something to say.
Andre didn't look like he wanted to even be in the ring. He didn't want to be there.
Andre's corner wasn't giving him no fire. They was like a lull. They was like just sitting
in
there.
The corner before they stopped the fight. He even said, "Stop it."
Yeah.
He said, Andre was like,
"Don't put me out." He's like, "Nah, man, just stop it. Like, don't."
Nah, I don't want no more of this.
Nah, I don't want no more of that.
This is not the Olympics. Come on, y'all.
To me, it looked like the competition level. So now my question for the crew is, what's next for Benavidez? Can he get that career defining matchup that he wants and we want to see against Canelo Alvarez?
That's the only fight. That's out there for him.
Is Canelo?
Nobody. We just seen. We just see what happened when he fights someone else who's not on his level. Canelo is the only guy for him to fight, and truthfully, that's the only guy for Canelo to fight, because we already see what happened when he fought Charlo. It was no competition, and we just seen his brother fight, and
his younger brother.
Yeah, and to me, that was a little tune-up fight. It was a little tune-up fight, but he couldn't even get him out of here. It went all it went the whole month.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that you've been out of the game for 2.5, 3 years, but the guy you're fighting, come on, that's a tune-up fight. You supposed to get him out of here.
Right. That's why they call it tune-up, so you get your team back.
Right.
By the 7th round, we should be going to get steaks. And we should be going pulling up, getting a steak soon. But you playing with this guy for 12 rounds, you couldn't even knock him out. And
you know what really got me on that fight with Charlo? Yeah. How the crowd booed when he came in and everything. That should have gave him that incentive, that fire, to knock that little young dude out, the tune-up fight, and get it over with.
And that's right. And again, that should have told him, like, these people ain't feeling me like I thought they was.
Ain't feeling him no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not feeling me like I thought they was. It wasn't that the one that old boy slapped the hell out of? Yes. Which brother was that the dude slapped him?
It was him. It was him.
I mean, I blew you. I blew you too. I blew you too.
Space. Yeah, I would boo you too. And how he started out the fight, it was so slow. It was like he had no powers behind his punches. Mm-hmm. It was a terrible fight. And I would have booed him too. And the way that he's fighting, he need another tune-up fight before he get in the ring with some real competition.
But when he get in the ring with the real competition, that's when he gonna get tuned up.
Truthfully, he might be the tune-up.
He might.
Remember he was talking all that smack about he wanted Shakur and he wanted all these people, man, you don't want that.
And
you
you
don't want
just
that
brought up
business.
something, Win Walker. You
Well,
just brought something up. When we talk about like how Benevidez was so much better than Andre,
yeah.
where in that four as 4 or 5 fighters, you got Shakur, you got Tank, you got Devin Haney, and who else you got? Who give me somebody else.
What Garcia?
Okay, you want to put Garcia in there?
Or Lomachenko.
Okay,
Lomachenko.
what are the levels? You know what I mean?
Well, after that fight with Shakur, he at the bottom for me. You know, he didn't show up at all. So he can't talk now. Okay. He didn't show up at all.
So you say all? Okay, go ahead. Finish your thought. I'm interested.
I was gonna say because after that fight, all that stuff that we were saying, you know, trying to get him out there with Tank or Haney or even Lomachenko, nah. Wow. His stock went down. His stock went all the way down. Cause that fight, you talking about booing.
Listen, I ain't mad at you, Browski. I'm not mad at you.
That fight was terrible. He ran the whole entire time.
Yeah. Like Browski saying, who gonna pay to see that?
Nobody want to see that. It was a tragedy.
It's about the purse. Purse first. You know what it is. Like in pivot.
I'm not really. I just think that I kind of like more I want to give Shakur Stevenson the benefit of the doubt. That's me. I feel like, you know, he should have got Edward De Los Santos out of there. You know, both of them, you know, was fighting like they were both scared to, like to let their hands go.
They was dancing. They was dancing.
And basically, he got, like Growski said, he kind of like put himself, make himself the low man on the total pole. But now who do what is it? Tank now, and then Haney.
Tank is
and
the top.
Shakur is at the bottom.
Tank number one. Tank one. And you know what? I gotta say this.
Haney.
Lomachenko and Haney is kind of neck and neck because in that fight,
I would give it to Haney.
I mean, you can only give it to Haney because he got the belt. But when
I think Lomachenko won that fight.
But when we look at the fight, Lomo was getting him out of here. But we all know to be
talking about the body work and all that. Come on, son.
But we know. You gotta knock the champ out to beat you. You can't go to the cards.
Didn't we say that? Didn't we say that when we was talking? Yada, to beat a champ, you gotta beat the champ.
You gotta beat him. So that's why I said, I put them two like this, but I give the edge to Haney because he's got the belts, and then Lomo right there. But Shakur, he might be lower than 4.
I think people sleeping on Shakur. I think Shakur is.
I think Shakur slept on himself.
Yeah. His hand might have been hurt. He wasn't. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
But it looked like his hand was hurt when he took the glove off. The way he was wincing, the way he was holding it, it looked like his hand hurt.
Wasn't that fight? That fight was like on a Thursday, right? Like,
it was on a Thursday on ESPN.
It was on ESPN.
Yeah, so this is my thing. If your hand is injured, don't fight. It's not a pay-per-view. If your hand is injured, then don't fight.
All right. Down in Sports Talk, we in the building, y'all. Tuesday nights, you know what the vibe is. You know how we give it up. We got 6 Zeros rocking out with us. We are powered by 6 Zeros. Make sure y'all check out 6zeros.net. Get down with the community over there. Get your voice heard at 6 Zeros. Wrap it up with this one over here. YADABEAR.
on 6 Zero Streets.
YADABEAR is definitely in the building over there, 6 Zeros. And we got my man Win Walker in the house with us down in Sports Talk. This is the part of the show where we get down on something. You know what I mean? Before we get up out of here. YADABEAR, lead it off. What you getting down on this week?
I am getting down on the Colorado, Buffalo, and Coach Prime. I want to say, great first season. People coming out here talking all this trash, talking about how was it a disappointment? It's the shine off him, woo-de-woo, all this crazy stuff. But they fail to realize this team has won 3 games more than the team last year. He came in, he beat a top 25 team. He was ranked twice in the top 25.
Right. We
Yes,
didn't rank them. Y'all did. That's right.
Yeah. No. When was the last time Colorado was ranked in the top 25? Right.
Mm-hmm.
When they had
Exactly.
Eric Bieniemy.
And there you go. And then and not only that, he won 4 games. He beat y'all in-state rivals. He beat Nebraska. You know, he beat Colorado State, TCU. It's like, what else did you want from him from the first season? With a bunch of transfers, with a terrible offensive line, with a terrible defensive line. He pieced together a team in a couple of months and came out there and won 4 games. He could have won 5 games. He was
6 games.
he was a field goal away, a point away of winning 6 games. You know, he came in there and he showed out and he showed his sons that, hey, Shador can play, and guess what? Shallow can play too. So I just want people to just, ease up on him, because they talking about him like he's a failure, like they won no games. He won 4 games. He took a 1-11 team and made them 4-8, and he made them respectable. He put them back on primetime TV. He put them back in the top 25. He brought in so much light to Colorado. Before Deion got there, we forgot about the Buffaloes. Nobody was talking about Colorado. You know, he brought in all the money. You know, he brought in all that money to the Pac-12, and guess what? Now he about to bring all that money to the Big 12.
Big 12. Okay? Taking his act to the Big 12.
Taking his act to the Big 12. So next season, I expect him, to be able to bring in the recruits, get his offensive defensive line ready. He brought in Warren Sapp, one of the best defensive players in the NFL, to help with their D-line.
Ooh.
Hey, don't boo Warren. Warren.
I got a personal story of Warren Sapp, so
I got you. But look, he's still good for the game. He gonna. I think that next season it's very possible for him to be bowl eligible in the Big 12.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he can make one of those bowls, and I just need people to chill out on the Deion hate. So what? Right. He's flashy. Right. So what? Right. That's who Deion is. He brought the spotlight down to Jackson State, build up their program, brought money there, brought money to the SWAC conference and all that great stuff. Then he came to Colorado, brought the money there, build up the program, make them respectable. If it was anybody else, nobody wouldn't say, all of this crazy stuff. It was anybody else in Colorado winning 4 games. If it was Lane Kiffin over there, or if it's Chip Kelly in Colorado winning 4 games, nobody would be saying, "Oh, he needs to go." It was a disaster. Blah blah blah. Only thing I would say for Deion for next season, you don't need anybody walking you out. Keep the celebrities off the sidelines and out the locker room, and just focus on the play.
We're getting bowl eligible.
And focus on being bold. But I just want to say salute to Coach Prime, salute to the Colorado Buffalo. People are now proud to be Colorado Buffalo fans again, and just keep moving, and can't wait to see what happened to you, in the Big 12. That's my get down.
That's what's up. Wayne Walker, what you get down on, yo?
I want to get down on the Auburn Tigers. Alabama's supposed to go to the bowl. We know Alabama's supposed to be in the SEC championship. We know this. But don't stand around and just show it on national TV live. Don't show it on national TV that y'all were told not to play football. Come on, man. That was ridiculous.
That was wild.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was like it was scripted.
Wow.
It was like it was scripted.
Yeah.
They knew
Crazy.
The announcers even knew that Alabama was finna win that game. They called it before the play was even played. That shows you right there it was scripted.
It shows you it was.
I knew it was scripted.
Listen, man,
So
we're
I'm getting
walking
down
to the house with us,
on you
man.
Tigers.
Down
You
in
let
sports
Big Brother
talk,
come and punk you. Big Brother punked you again.
All right.
I guess that's some get back.
Everybody has a birthday.
Wait, I guess that's some get back from
Chop.
when. I'm chopping.
We went in overtime.
Okay.
Let's go. Chop.
Oh, okay, we in overtime. I'm sorry. That's some get back from when they kicked the field goal and old boy ran it back 109 yards.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago. Yeah, the kick.
Yeah, I guess that's some get back.
Yeah.
That was crazy, man. That was crazy. That's
my get down.
Mm-hmm.
And happy belated birthday to me on Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Yes, I want to get down on all the people who are getting down on Shakur Stevenson. That dude's gonna humble a lot of y'all. Shakur just had an off night. It happens. Maybe he was reeling some people in. I think that you haven't seen the best of Shakur Stevenson, and that's basically it. My plate review. I have to give my plate a 9.99999. Had some of the dopest macaroni and cheese with some shrimps and crabs, and it was super dope. My plate was good. My plate was full. I've been eating on it at work for a week. Finally got rid of it. The banana pudding was banging. So that's my plate review, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Down in Sports Talk, y'all. Tuesday night. We got to get up out of here, yo. Salute to everybody that rocks out with us. Josh Giddey, we gonna keep our eye on you. Malika Andrews, we waiting for you to say something, anything. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button over there on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button over there, 6 zeros, man.
Yes.
For real. Join the community over there. Rock out with YADABEAR. I pop in from time to time, but YADABEAR holds that down over there. Get down with my man Win Walker. He's in the building doing his thing. He just had his birthday and all that. Salute, Win Walker.
Happy birthday.
So yeah, that's what it is. We're about to get up out of here, man. We'll talk to y'all next week. Don't go nowhere, y'all. All right, Down in Sports Talk. We out. Another one down. Josh Giddey, man, you're a weirdo, man. Word up.
Super weird.
Word.
Stay away from the kiddies.
All right, word, right?